This week on The Signal,
Haligonians, big and small, are learning to skate.
the French version of the Christian Epiphany celebration has a special twist.
And painting. For this woman, it's a personal passion and a family tradition.
Welcome to a new year of The Signal, a weekly news magazine.
Brought to you by the TV Workshop at the University of King's College. I'm Sean Mott.
And I'm Sindi Skenderi.
We're here at the Halifax Central Library, and our top story this week takes us to Cogswell Street.
And it's getting crowded up there now that the Oval is holding skating lessons for beginners. The first session of the season attracted over 50 people, and not all of them were toddlers. Ashley Corbett has the story.
For Francis and Tia D'Souza, memories of cold toes and struggles to lace up skates are vivid. They've watched their children play hockey for years, but had never set foot on the ice until now.
We sit on the sidelines still, so it's about time we learn to skate so we can go out and have fun and skate with them too.
Learning to skate is not easy. Getting on and off the ice without falling is the most challenging part for a lot of people. Balance is particularly troubling for children who are getting up on skates for the first time.
Why do you want to learn to skate?
Because I fall a lot.
They're just not used to having blades on the bottom of the feet. They're pretty new to walking or running too, so that can take a little bit of getting used to as well. We have people who are brand new to skating, they're maybe even brand new to Canada, but we also get a lot of adults that are looking to maybe get out with their kids or get out with their grandkids.
I grew up in Switzerland and we had other things to do than skate.
The wind was pushing me.
Two things I'm saying to myself: if you fall, get back up. You do not say, I cannot do it.
Instructors will be helping people like these folks find their feet every week for the rest of the winter. For The Signal, I'm Ashley Corbett.
Lots of people take the new year as a chance to recommit to their fitness. Rebecca Brown hit the gym to ask people about their body goals for 2016.
People are warming up for their New Year fitness resolution to get in shape.
I've committed to trying to go to the gym more often, but those are usually the easy ones to break.
More just weightlifting, just to gain muscle. I used to play dal soccer, so once I stopped playing, I lost all my muscle, so I kind of want it back.
While many are excited to start their New Year's resolution, not everyone has the muscle to make it last.
Part of me thinks they're unrealistic for most people, but then again, I also think it's important to be healthy.
I usually decide that if you're going to change something, you may as well just do it at any time. You don't have to wait till January 1st.
For The Signal, I'm Rebecca Brown.
Now that Christmas and New Year's are over, it's time to get back to that daily grind. Or is it? The French aren't done celebrating just yet. Guillaume Lapointe-Gagné reports.
The holidays aren't over for the Alliance Française. Once you enter these doors, only French is allowed. They're celebrating Epiphany, also known as Three Kings Day. It's a Christian holiday that celebrates the three Magi's visit to baby Jesus.
En fait, en tant que catholique, ça fait partie de la tradition catholique.
It's also an important moment for gourmands and gourmets alike. There's chocolate, and of course, champagne. But this is what everyone is here for. French custom dictates the eating of the galette des rois, a flaky flat pastry cake filled with frangipane, fruit, and chocolate.
But there's a twist. Baked inside the cake is a hidden charm called the fève, or bean. Whoever finds the bean is crowned king or queen of the night.
Isabelle Pedot, director of the Alliance Française, said she celebrates Epiphany in order to share her traditions with Canadians.
On est là à partager un gâteau qui est bien spécial et donc c'est important pour moi de pouvoir garder aussi comme ça mes traditions.
Epiphany isn't celebrated by all Christians equally. One priest says English Canadians could take a few hints from the French.
In English, I think we're pretty much at that point getting back to work and things are moving back into their normal cycle. But it is still a celebration, that it's more than just Coca-Cola and Santa and Rudolph.
As for the queen of the night, it was Gregory Nazaire's daughter that found it at his table. When asked what he would do if he found the bean, Nazaire had this to say.
Eh bien, je vais prendre ma place. Et vivre comme un roi.
Maybe next year. For The Signal, and Guillaume Lapointe-Gagné.
New year, new me, or nouvelle année, nouveau moi in French. If your resolution this year is learning a new language, check out this story by Maya Kowalski.
À défaut de présenter une carte valide,
every New Year's, people make new resolutions. Some of them choose to learn a new language.
I think it's always a good idea. I think that learning a new language is a really great way of opening new doors for yourself. So, yeah.
Learning a new language from scratch isn't easy. Heading to the library is a good place to start. There are hundreds of different language books to help you learn. Learning a new language can also help you learn about a new culture.
The more you learn about the other parts of the world, the more you'll have an open mind, and you'll be more accepting to other people.
I've done that several times in my life, for sure. Right now I'm quite happy here in Halifax, but thankfully there's a lot of different cultures here too, so certainly all people are the same to me, and I love culture of all sorts.
But it's one thing to make the resolution. Following through is the challenge.
I think it's a good idea, but making a plan like that at a specific time like that is usually a bad idea.
And why is that?
Too much pressure.
Good luck, Halifax. For The Signal, this is Maya Kowalski.
We're all passionate about something, but what if your passion makes a dent in your wallet? Sarah Poco has a story of a woman who works long hours to balance the practical with the artistic.
Stephanie Cooper has been a security guard for 8 years. When she's off her 8 to 12-hour shift, she's making art. Cooper uses her job as a security guard to fund her love for art.
Canvases go between $3 and $5 a piece. I've spent upwards of $20 on a singular canvas. A tube of titanium white oil paint will set me back $15. On average, at least $50, if not $100 in art supplies a month, easily.
Cooper has been painting since she was 8 years old. Her mother and her grandmother taught her to paint.
Envision things a little differently than the average person. And I wanted my daughter to feel what I felt when my mother was teaching me, that closeness, that expression of your spirit, because that's what it is.
Cooper and her family each have their preferred art forms. Her mom uses feathers. Her brother works with sheets of copper. Cooper prefers to use coffee.
At like 2 a.m. and I was sketching, and I had these really great body studies, and they really needed color. And I had cold coffee. There was no way I was going to be drinking any more of it, and I was like, coffee is color. As much as I've always wanted to do this as like my core income, it's not fiscally reliable. So I just keep creating.
Cooper has sold her pieces in local galleries and online, but she hopes to go bigger.
Just keep doing it. That's all you can really do with art, is just keep creating, and sometimes you get a Van Gogh, and sometimes it's a doodle on a napkin.
This is Sarah Poco for The Signal.
Nothing like a bit of international recognition to bring people around. That's the case with the once controversial Barrington Street mural. Emma Jones reports.
It's a grey, lonely day on Barrington Street. Nothing like an underwater acid trip to add some vibrance. This mural by Montreal artist Jason Botkin had eyes from across the world on it this past week. It made an international top 20 list by art media platform All City Canvas. Here in this city, it wasn't always popular. When it was commissioned by Freak Lunchbox's owners, it covered up an already existing piece. Let's just say that traditionalists were unhappy.
It's been 4 months since this mural replaced the Tall Ships one that was here before. We took to the streets to ask Haligonians what they think about it.
There was an older mural underneath it, and it caused some controversy, and some people were upset, but at the same time, I think it's like Halifax is such a changing city, and I feel that like this is one of those things that, you know, sometimes you just need change, and I think it's pretty cool.
You know, kind of just something away from like the schooner kind of theme that you see a lot everywhere.
Christian Toth is an artist and art director in Halifax. He knows the city's public art scene well, and he says that this piece is really special.
Lighter pinks on the tentacle arms creates a nice pop and a feel of depth on that.
Even like on the candy swirls, you notice how if there wasn't that almost like a whitish color on the center in those certain areas, it wouldn't create that pop.
Now that the paint has dried and the controversy has calmed down, it looks like the public might finally appreciate Botkin's work.
It's beautiful and psychedelic and really trippy.
I think it's very beautiful art.
The Freak Lunchbox mural might have center stage in Halifax right now, but it's just one piece of a small but strong public art community in Halifax. Christian Toth says even though Halifax is a little bit behind the curve with public art, more and more great work is appearing. For The Signal, I'm Emma Jones.
And to finish off the week, here's a story on some anti-war activists who are not giving up on the cause, despite the low turnout. Aya Al-Hakim reports on No Harbor for War.
Every Friday afternoon, even if people don't show up, 2 anti-war activists meet to pass out anti-war leaflets.
Syria and Iraq. We're opposed to the foreign policy of the, prior to this, the Harper regime and now the Trudeau regime. Our bombers are still bombing Iraq and Syria.
But could this protest of 2 bring about change?
Canada. It's just one small symbolic gesture, you could say. The more important thing is meeting people, talking to people, organizing events.
It's very important for me because the possibility of a third world war has loomed large for many, many, many decades. So it seems to be a very useful thing to spend one's energy on.
For The Signal, I'm Aya Hakim.
Tune in next week as we go behind the scenes of the new Dinosaur Discoveries exhibit at the Museum of Natural History.
And we'll learn about a new way to welcome refugees into Canada.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Signal. I'm Sean Mott.
And I'm Sindi Skenderi.